Court will call 26 CF 25 State of Wisconsin versus JERMAINE Clash appearances.
Kelly Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Clash appears in person with Attorney Kathleen Chung. Your Honor, he was not evaluated for public representation at his decision. The address that Mr. Clash provides is not on the complaint. It is 3917 LYNN Road, LIEN Road, number 108 Madison, 53704. We waive reading of the complaint.
Mr. Clash, this is a criminal matter. You have a right to an attorney. I know they just handed you a public defender application form. You can apply for the public defenders. If they turn you down, you can appeal that decision. You can always hire your own attorney at your own expense. Proceeding here today, I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It does allege 2 felony charges. I understand there's someone who identifies as a victim in the Clash matter. If you are here on the Clash matter, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Can you please state and spell your name?
Yes, Callie Hauge, CALLIE
Ms. Hauge, this is your opportunity to tell me what you think I should do in regards to setting bail.
Absolutely. So I'm going to I wrote down a little bit that I wanted to read to you because this is really important to me to protect my children. So I am a 35-year-old, 5'1", 120-pound mom of 3, pregnant, 10 weeks pregnant with my 4th child. It happens to be my 4th pregnancy with JERMAINE. I was pregnant back in February of 2025. I had an abortion because I found out JERMAINE was cheating on me and I couldn't raise another child on my own.
Ms. Hauge, I'm just going to stop you for 1 second. There is a court reporter who takes down everything you say, and I value all your personal statements. But you might want to remember that everything is being taken down and it's public record. So anything you say, you might want to stick to just what you want me to do in regards to setting bail.
Okay, I will get to that then right away. I'm asking the court to protect me and my children because if my initial domestic violence restraining order had been put into place back in February of 2025, when I had initially filed and JERMAINE made me out to be a bitter baby mama, then none of this would have happened and we wouldn't be traumatized as a family by JERMAINE again. My fear is if he gets out, he has nothing to lose, Your Honor, and I'm afraid of this man.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hauge. The court will take your statements under advisement when setting bail.
Thank you.
State's position on bail.
Your Honor, the state is recommending a signature bond, but as non-monetary conditions, the state is recommending a no contact with Callie H. And a ban from 2 Windstone Drive in Madison.
Attorney Chung?
We have no objection to that. Mr. Clash is providing a separate address. He is no objection at all to, which is on a different part of town. I'll know it by the zip code. So we have no objection to that. He's going to obtain his own counsel.
Your
I
Honor,
will.
JERMAINE, I'm sorry, but JERMAINE was evicted from that address. You can look it up. It's in the court system. He does not have a home. He's homeless.
Ma'am, you had your opportunity. I appreciate the response, but now it's the court's turn, okay?
All right.
Thank you. I will order a signature bond for Mr. Clash. I will order that he have no contact with Callie H. I will order a ban from 2 Windstone Drive. I will also order GPS monitoring through pretrial services to monitor the van area. We are adjourned. Oh, time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counsel.
Waived, please.
Those are waived. A status conference shall be scheduled. We are adjourned in Mr. Clash's case.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Clash, right this way. Next is
Mr. Clash, sorry.
FORTINO, FLORENCIO. No. And you already. FORTINO, FLORENCIO, Florencio? Yeah. Right. Oh, yes.
Court will call 26 CF 35, State of Wisconsin versus Fortino Florencio, appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Fonzie, my name is Kathy John. If this your correct address,
Esa
or
es la
your
dirección
address, or
correcta.
the- Mr. Florencio appears in person. His correct address is on the complaint. We will waive reading. He does not speak English. We are here with Spanish interpreter Fred Svensson.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding as to counts 5 and 6, and will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Florencio's behalf. State's position on bail.
State is requesting bail in the amount of $7,500 and as conditions that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle and that he not consume or possess any alcohol. In support of the recommendation for bail, the state will note the defendant has been out on a bench warrant for his pending OWI cases since December of 2022, when he failed to appear for his plea and sentencing. Based on the nature of the charges here today, it's clear that one of those cases was a mandatory prison case. And now, after failing to appear and not doing anything to address the warrant, he returns to us with a new case, which also carries mandatory prison. So it is clear that high cash is necessary to ensure appearance.
Attorney Chung.
I should have mentioned, I think that Mr. Florencio is represented by counsel from our office, but he has decided not to apply for this case, this newest case. So I do believe that he did take some steps. I could be mistaken in my brief review, but I do believe he did take some steps to address some of his older cases through his counsel that was assigned. No, that's my understanding through CCAP. I'm advised that Mr. Florencio does not seek that representation now. He is not able.
What? Who's gonna represent me?
One moment, please.
Es que usted no puede tener el defensor
Antes no estaba trabajando, ahora yo trabajo y quiero tener un lugar privado para poder defender.
The thing is that previously I was not working, but now I am working. Well, I think I probably will need to get private attorney. Gracias.
Y también quiero saber,
But I also do want to know
la vez pasada que estuve aquí en la cárcel,
that I was here
me
in person.
dieron un bond de $3,000. ¿Qué pasa con ese dinero que yo pedí? El dinero me mandaron el cheque para acá.
From the last time I had a bail bond, $1,000. So I said. What would happen with that bond? Because I had paid that and I never got it back, I never received it. Usted tuvo copia de eso, usted no se presentó para la corte para ese caso anteriormente, donde usted había pagado esos $3,000, así que ese no se ha perdido, porque usted no volvió a la corte.
Number 2,
Dos,
you have been arrested
usted ha sido arrestado nuevamente
for driving
por manejar un carro
while
mientras
using substances.
con sustancias
And
ofertas.
you have a pending case
Tiene un
of
caso
stolen
pendiente con el mismo cargo.
Pues, you
Entonces,
have a
usted
new
necesita tener una nueva fianza.
Every post custom for
Y el Estado está pidiendo $7,000.
$500.
For you to remember this.
para que se
Now
libere
the judge is going
para
to
la
decide
jueza va a
that.
decidir este caso,
Open a new bond,
la nueva audiencia.
and they want to know.
Quiero
whether
saber
whether
si
the
usted va a conseguir su
Which will say you may want to
dice
public
que usted
defender.
quiere tener defensor público, es lo que está diciendo.
It says you will, of
Pero
your
la persona-
own,
abogado privado dice,
and
y, well,
this is a felony.
este es un
So you're going to have an opportunity
es
to
un-
to live in the road, you know.
oportunidad para una audiencia.
Now, go ahead with your question, please. Lo que pasa es que la podemos presentar porque yo salí a México, porque yo me meses, salí, me regresé, pero no sabía que tenía una orden de arresto. Me agarraron.
No, you had an arrest warrant, that's what happened last time, I had birds, I had to go back to it.
Okay, now, you would, that's the
Well,
There's right, it's
I
still-
had-
This is the new case.
This is-
So we're setting the new bond. Where he stated that's the same source of housing, and the post.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. He's asking the court to consider a bail in the amount of $3,000. He's indicating that he was unaware of his warrant and is unable to post more than that. Thank you.
Given the December of 22 non-appearance, given the mandatory prison sentence he is facing on those cases,
Yeah.
along with the potential of additional prison time in this case, I do believe Mr. Florencio is a flight risk. I will set cash bail in the amount of $5,000. I will order as conditions that you are not to consume or possess any alcohol, that you are not to possess or consume any drug paraphernalia or controlled substances without a valid prescription, and that you are not to drive a motor vehicle during the pendency of this action. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counsel.
Not waived.
Those are not waived, and the preliminary hearing shall be scheduled timely.
Okay, okay.
Since you are. Do you want some copy of everything?
Vaya a hablar con usted sobre la defensa pública.
Sí, porque.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd like to get it.
Thank you.
Mr. Direction. Next is Dameyon Posey.
Okay.
Thanks, Fred.
Break and pitch me, oh. Teams me if you guys need me. I'll go back later. Thank you.
Mr. Posey. Sir, please stand on the yellow pens.
Court will call 26 CF 30, State of Wisconsin versus Damian Posey appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Address at 224 South Musket. Thank you.
Mr. Posey appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. His correct address is on the complaint. He qualifies for public representation. I am going to ask the court to take a look at the complaint. We'll waive its reading, but I'm going to ask the court to take a look at count 1. I don't think there's probable cause for felony intimidation of a victim. What I see within the complaint, I'm looking at, I think I'm looking at a paragraph that says, I'm trying to find it. I was looking at it on the computer. That says that the BLJ indicated that she believed that the defendant saw her calling, and it seemed that it made him more aggressive. I don't think there's anything in here that says that he attempted to dissuade or prevent her from contacting law enforcement. I apologize, I'm looking for the exact, oh, here it is, at the bottom of page 3. 3 lines up from the bottom, BLJ stated that the defendant was aware she had called 911 and this seemed to make him more aggressive. And that he continued hitting her even after the call. That's insufficient to make up a probable cause for knowingly and maliciously attempting to prevent her from, who is a victim of a crime, from making a report of that to law enforcement agency. I'm asking the court to dismiss count 1.
Motion is denied. If you look at the bottom of page 3, it says that she calls 911. He begins grabbing her, a small vacuum, and striking her with it. She obtains defensive wounds and is bleeding. She then is pulling the vacuum cord, causing it to break, which stopped him from hitting her further. And at this point during the physical altercation, Dameyon was able to get her phone from her. She said that Dameyon was aware she had called 911 and that made him more aggressive. So during the phone call, it appears that she is beaten and the phone is taken. I find that there is sufficient probable cause in the four corners to deny that motion to dismiss. Upon further review of the criminal complaint, I do make a probable cause finding as to the misdemeanor charges, entering not guilty plea on Mr. Posey's behalf. I understand there is a someone who identifies as a victim in this matter who wishes to make a statement. If you're here on the Posey matter, please unmute yourself. *6 to unmute on a phone.
Yes, hello.
Can you please state and spell your name for the court reporter, ma'am?
Bridget Jamboys, BRIDGETTE JAMBOIS.
Ma'am, this is your opportunity to tell the court what you think I should do in setting bail here today.
As for that, like a signature bond, if possible. And then I would still like to have contact with him as well.
Thank you, Ms. Jamboy. The court will take that under consideration when setting bail here today. State's position on bail.
State is requesting $1,500 cash bond with the conditions the defendant have no contact with Bridget J. or any of her children, and that he not be at 244 South Musket Ridge Drive, Apartment 2 in Sun Prairie. Additionally, that he not own or possess any firearms or be in a house where a firearm is present. In support of the recommendation for the cash and the no contact, the state will note that the defendant missed a court date on August 11th, 2025 in 25 CM 1111, and then posted a cash bail of $500. Since then, he has repeatedly had contact with Bridget J in violation of the conditions of bond in that case. He has yet to make an appearance in another open case, 25 CM 3032, which is also contains allegations where Bridget is the victim. In this case, the defendant is accused of extremely violent behavior, pulling out Bridget's hair, breaking her, actually hitting her arms that she's using to shield her head with, and causing bleeding injuries. He is accused of doing all of this in front of her children. He has repeatedly ignored court orders to cease having contact with the victim, and despite her wishes for contact today, the state believes that no contact is necessary to protect her and her children. It's also consistent with the conditions he already has. And so that is the state's request to the court. I'll note that the children involved are not shared between the two individuals. They have only been dating for less than a year, and most of that year has been marked by referrals and calls to the police.
Attorney Chang.
Mr. Posey is able to post some amount of cash, but nothing near the amount of $500. I mean, we've heard from the victim here today. She sounds obviously competent and confident. There's no doubt evidently that there are prior cases here. He's telling me that he is able to post some cash and that he will not reside at the Musket Ridge address, obviously, and he is able to reside at a shelter instead. So we're gonna ask the court to consider lower cash in this case. He's not able to post much, but we'll ask the court to consider lower cash. He will be able to reside at a shelter in this case instead.
These are Act 3 eligible offenses. I understand Ms. Bridget J wants contact. However, given the prior conditions, given the alleged violations here, given the violence that is detailed in the criminal complaint, I do believe that cash bail is appropriate to protect the victim and to assure Mr. Posey's appearance at future court dates, given the recent missed court appearance. I will set cash bail in the amount of $1,200. I will order no contact with Bridget J and her children. I will order a ban from the 244 South Musket Ridge Drive address in Sun Prairie. I will order that you not go armed with any firearms during the pendency of this action. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counsel?
Not waived.
Those are not waived, and a preliminary hearing shall be scheduled timely. We are adjourned in Mr. Posey's case.
Next is Rebecca LUICK. Mr. LUICK. Your paperwork, it's down in the elevators.
Court will call 26 CM 35, State of Wisconsin versus Rebecca LUICK. Appearances.
Callie Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Ms. Luick is here in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. Her correct address is listed on the complaint. She's eligible for public representation. We'll waive this reading of this complaint, Your Honor.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Ms. Luick's behalf to these charges. I understand there's someone who identifies as a victim in regards to this case. If you are here on the LUICK matter, please unmute yourself. You're still muted, sir.
Got it. Sorry.
There you go. Can you please state and spell your name for the court reporter?
My name is David Plaza, DAVID PLAZA.
Sir, this is your opportunity to tell the court what you think I should do in regards to setting bail here today.
Okay. So Rebecca has, drinking problems. She was on the bracelet or the breathalyzer for a little while, and she was doing pretty good until one day, supposedly the lady wasn't able to get a hold of her, so they sent a warrant for her arrest. And and we have two phones, we had a house phone and her cell phone. I guess she called her cell phone, but she didn't call the house phone, but none of them rang. Like I was there, she says that she was only supposed to just call one phone and she wasn't, like it wasn't her job.
Sir,
to
I'm gonna
stay
hold
with
on.
people.
I'm gonna hold you on for a second. We're not here to discuss the information surrounding the case. This is your opportunity to tell me what you think I should do for setting bail here today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Luick.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I know that she probably won't get out. I know that she'll probably get a bail. I hope that she's able to get out. I wish she could get a signature on it and be able to come home, But if she doesn't, I would at least like to have contact with her, like over the phone. Like if she's gonna stay in jail, I would at least like to be able to speak to her, tell her that I love her and help her through it and send her money and things like that. That's all I want. At least she'll be able to have contact with her through the phone.
Thank you, sir. The court will take that under consideration.
Yes, ma'am.
State's position on bail.
State is requesting $500 cash bail with conditions that if the defendant posts that she report to pretrial services for remote alcohol breath testing. Additionally, the state is requesting no contact with David P.A. and no use or possession of any alcohol. I'll note for the court, this is the defendant's third open case involving the same victim. And so at this point, despite Mr. Plaza Antuna's wishes, I think that no contact is appropriate. This case involves Act 3 offenses, and under the totality of the circumstances for that law, I do think that cash bail is now appropriate. Clearly, conditions set in the past have not been sufficient to protect this victim.
Attorney Chen.
Thank you. Ms. Luick is asking the court to consider first a signature bond. She of course understands what the state's talking about here, but she is asking the court to consider a signature bond first, and if not a signature bond, then low cash. She has no ability to post at all. If released, she will be homeless, and she will ask the court to look at the address of 615 East Washington, 53703. If she gets cash bail, we'll use 115 West Doty. And she has no objection to no alcohol or any kind of monitoring. She would ask for no violent contact as well. She certainly wants to have at least phone contact with Mr. David P. So she's obviously has recognizes that she doesn't want to have any more alcohol. She recognizes that she wants to pursue a positive relationship with herself and with her friends. So she's asking the court to consider low cash versus a signature bond and low cash, and she has no objection to no violent contact here. And she's asking the court to and no objection to any kind of monitoring that the court is going to look at here. This is a situation that she feels great remorse for the circumstances, and she's asking the court to let her have a chance to get out, go to the shelter, and have no contact that's violent.
There are Act 3 eligible offenses. This is Ms. Lewick's third open case with the same victim. Clearly alcohol is a problem in association with this cases. But given the number of cases, the Act 3 eligible nature, I do believe cash bail is appropriate. I will set it as low as I can go at $250. I will order that you not possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this action. If you are released, you are to report to pretrial services or alcohol monitoring. And I will order no contact with David P.A. at this point, given that this is the third case. No acts or threats of violence was ordered on the previous case. That's alleged to be violated in this case. At this point, given the Act 3 nature, I believe no contact is appropriate. We are adjourned in Ms. Lewick's case.
Your Honor, may I say something?
No, sir, you had your opportunity. It was the court's turn. Good luck to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is Kyle Bailey appearing via Zoom. I got booked in before.
Court will call case numbers 25 CF 2192 and 26 CF 26 appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
I'm going to ask the court to inquire about the appearance of Mr. Daly. Attorney Kathleen Chung is in court. I have one extradition and one burglary complaint. We'll waive reading of both complaints. I don't know if he has either.
Extradition, he has had an initial appearance, posted cash, failed to appear at the extradition hearing. So we're just here on that cash warrant that was executed on the extradition hearing. And then we're here on a new initial appearance on the newest case.
Okay. With regard to the burglary, I am going to ask the court to take a look at that complaint. I'll waive the reading of it and I'll ask the court to check on his appearance, make sure that he's here and that he can read, or sorry, hear and see and everything. But I am gonna ask the court to take a look at this. What I read this complaint is that I don't see anybody in here or any witness or anything alleged within the four corners of this complaint saying that anyone saw this defendant take or possess the vehicle, the quarters, or the dogs. What I see is that an individual says, I'm sure that the defendant took, or that the defendant knew my parents, or had a key, and that we were there, and I'm sure it was him. And that later the defendant was arrested in Colorado. It does not say that he was arrested with the vehicle. It does say that later the vehicle was returned from Colorado and that it was damaged. But it doesn't say that where the dog went or where the quarters went or that he entered the vehicle, the building. I just don't think the complaint was drafted properly, so I'm going to ask the court to dismiss it.
Counsel, do you need a minute to respond?
Yes, please. Well, Your Honor, the complaint it doesn't contain a ton of information. I'll acknowledge that, but I think there is enough there for probable cause. The victims of the burglary indicate that they believe it was the defendant, that no one else would have had access to their home or their garage. And then the vehicle is tracked via flock cameras to exactly the same town in Colorado where the defendant is arrested. That would be an incredible coincidence. That it's tracked there at the same time that he's arrested and almost across the country, and that he was the only person ID'd as a possible suspect, and then that the vehicle had to be returned from Colorado after he was put into custody. So I think there is sufficient information within the complaint for the court to find probable cause at this point.
Just very briefly, not one flock alert puts him in the vehicle. Not one witness says he entered the home.
I understand your argument, Attorney Chung, and I think if this were a trial, you'd have very good points. However, looking at the four corners of the complaint and viewing it in a light most favorable to the state under circumstantial evidence, the fact that he had access, opportunity, and where the vehicle is found, his location, circumstantially gets the state there under the four corners. Motion to dismiss is denied. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It alleges the 2 felony charges, state's position on bail.
State is requesting $3,000 on the new case, the 26 CF, with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Sarah D. Sarah is spelled with an H. That he direct no acts or threats of violence towards Kent C. Kent, last initial C, or Barbara, common spelling, last initial M. Additionally, the state's requesting a ban from Anna Lane, 2 N's in Anna, and Shorecrest Drive, both in Middleton. The defendant is charged here with felony crime. He had to be returned from Colorado, where the vehicle, again, was tracked to. He is also charged in Dane County case 25 CF 1969 with fleeing and eluding. We also have the extradition matter, of course, that's tied up in all of this. Cash bond in the amount of $1,000 was ordered in the 25 CF case. That it was then converted to a signature bond on November 6th, 2025. And we have this alleged crime very quickly after that. Additionally, there's the extradition matter where the defendant posted $500 and then failed to appear for his hearing. In that case, on return of the warrant, I'll ask for $1,000.
Counsel.
I don't know, based on my paperwork, whether he qualifies. I'm guessing he probably does based on the custody.
They've got Attorney Frederickson was appointed on
Right.
the extradition case.
That's why I'm guessing, and based on the custody status, I think he is. So I'm guessing that he has no ability to post. I'll also just ask the court to double check that he can hear and that he's got a copy of the complaint before we sign off.
Mr. Daly, can you hear us?
Oh,
I
sounds
know
like,
showing us the paperwork and he's received the paperwork.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that this time. Thank you. Not last time, but this time. Good job. Good job.
thank you. So we'll ask for the court to consider, based on the strength of the complaint, we'll ask the court to consider low cash in this
Line of the
case.
complaint.
There's also plenty of other cases, it sounds like, going on here. I think the extradition is to Illinois.
Fucking letter to get rid of.
Mute, please.
Illinois, not to Colorado, so I'm not sure how they're related. The state had indicated a relationship. I'm not familiar with it, so I'll ask the court to consider low cash.
Given the prior failure to appear on the extradition case, it is to the state of Illinois. On that case, I will set cash bail in the amount of $2,000. Low cash bail was not enough to assure his appearance at that court date. Given the new case, given the flight from the jurisdiction and the crimes that are alleged prior to that, I believe, again, high cash bail is necessary to assure Mr. Daly's appearance at court. I will set cash bail in the amount of $3,000. Conditions will include no contact with Sarah D. Kent, no acts or threats of violence towards Kent C. Barbara M. A ban from Anna Lane and Shorecrest Drive in Middleton. As to the new felony matter, time limits, counsel.
Not waived, please.
Those are not waived, and a preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled. We are adjourned in Mr. Daly's cases.
Next is John Evans.
John Evans. Instead of the other ones.
Court will call 26 CM 31, State of Wisconsin versus John Evans. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
One moment, please. One second. Thank you. Mr. Evans appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. His correct address is 1819 Aberg Avenue in Madison. He does not seek public representation in this matter. So he may or may not seek public representation in this matter. But I have reviewed this complaint and waive its reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding as to the misdemeanor charges and entering not guilty plea on Mr. Evans' behalf. State's position on bail.
State is requesting $1,000 cash bail. In this case, with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Diana, spelled DIANNA, last initial F. I'd also ask that the court make findings under 940.47, risk of intimidation. I'll note that the defendant called the victim a number of times from the Dane County Jail while within the 72-hour time frame following his arrest, and after his initial appearance where he was ordered not to have contact with her. He, in some of the calls, unfortunately, I was not the reviewing attorney, so I don't know in explicit detail, but he was indicating in some way or trying to get her to recant her statement in the underlying case 2917. So there is a significant risk of intimidation or dissuasion from participating with prosecution, and clearly the no contact order alone was not sufficient.
Attorney Chung.
Your Honor, Mr. Evans has no ability to post. I think I reviewed, when I reviewed this, that the actual underlying incident occurred sometime in June, several months ago. So there was an incident that occurred in June, but then the warrant went out like in December. Okay, thank you. In December, so there was some kind of delay that is not typical, so I do think that that may have caused some confusion. Nevertheless, I understand where the state is coming from. I'm going to ask the court, now that he's clearly aware of everything that's going on, to consider a signature bond in this matter. I don't know, honestly, I can't remember if contact after domestic abuse in this case constitutes Act 3 eligible, but it's not a violent allegation, physically violent, that is. So I'll ask the court to look at a signature bond, consider that, or low cash if that's not appropriate in this case. So I don't remember there being a long record in Mr. Evans' case. He doesn't have a place to go. He now knows he can have absolutely no contact by phone or in any other manner. This is not a recent event. That is, the original underlying incident is not recent. There hasn't been any allegations between June and December until the arrest and the custody status. So I'll ask the court to consider low cash.
Reviewing the criminal complaint and the underlying case, which this arises out of and in conjunction with per the allegations. I do believe some cash bail is necessary to assure Mr. Evans' appearance at future court dates. I will set cash bail in the amount of $500. I will order as conditions, no contact with Diana F. That means you can't call, write, text, no matter what. And under 940.47, I will order that knowing and malicious prevention or dissuasion of the victim has occurred or is reasonably likely to occur, so you can have no contact, regardless of if you sign that bail form. No contact, or you can get new charges.
Yes.
Nothing whatsoever. Do not call, write, or text.
Yes.
All right. We are adjourned in Mr. Evans' case. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, I have to put the.
Talk to her first.
Okay, cool, okay. That's right. Okay, great, sir. Next is Martinez Artica. Martinez, paperwork, instead of the yellows. Huh?
Court will call 26 CM 45, State of Wisconsin versus MAYNOR, Martinez, Artica. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Martinez Artica appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. His correct address is actually 16 Manor Drive, Madison, 53711. He qualifies for public representation. He has a copy of the criminal complaint and will waive its reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Martinez Artica's behalf. State's position on bail.
State is requesting $300 cash bail with conditions that the defendant be banned from all Walmart stores, that he not use or possess any alcohol, and that he report to pretrial services for alcohol monitoring if he is able to post the $300. There is really no better word to describe this behavior other than silly. This is just incredibly foolish behavior to be engaging in. However, the defendant has 2 other open cases, both with signature bonds, both involving alcohol, and the signature bonds have not been sufficient to deter behavior like this. So at some point, I think the court has to put some cash on the line for Mr. Martinez Artica, and 300 is not an unreasonable amount.
Counsel.
Thank you. Martinez Artica is asking the court to consider a signature bond in this matter. I think the state has pretty properly described the conduct that's alleged here. It's not violent, it's not good, but it's not violent. And also the amount here is under $30 that's alleged to have been taken. Again, the conduct that's alleged, of course, he is innocent of the allegations here, is not good, but it's not terribly severe. So he's asking the court, he doesn't have any ability to post, he does qualify for public representation. He says he's unemployed, he's asking the court to consider a signature bond here. No objection to the conditions.
We're now looking at your third open case. The penalties are increasing. You're looking at potential jail time that increases more and more, along with monetary fines that continue on these allegations. Given all of that, I do believe some cash bail is necessary to assure your appearance at future court dates, given that the potential penalty is increasing. I'm going to set cash bail as low as I can go at $150. I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this action, and that you are banned from all Walmarts. I'm also going to order a referral to pretrial services if you post for alcohol monitoring. You need to report there if you are released. If they are closed, you need to report by the next morning. They're giving you the sheet that tells you about pretrial services for alcohol monitoring. We are adjourned in Mr. Martinez Artica's case.
Thank you.
Right, next is TENIELLE Favors, hearing via Zoom.
Was that $300, Your Honor?
150.
150, okay, thank you.
I think I need time for this.
Who is this one?
Favors.
Thank you. Court will call 26 FO 25 Dane County versus TENIELLE Favors. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the county.
Ms. Favors appears in person in custody. Ms. Favors, I have what some consider good news.
Yeah.
The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those reports. They decided not to charge you criminally.
Thank you.
Instead, they're charging you with a county ordinance violation for disorderly conduct.
I didn't see that.
Similar to a parking ticket or a citation. It is non-criminal.
I see that.
Sometimes it's a case that can be resolved here today. Regardless of your plea in this case, you're going to get released today.
Thank you.
What is the county's offer for resolution of this matter?
County would resolve for court costs.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest to this ordinance violation, I would find you guilty and assess court costs of $114.50. If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this case will get set for further proceedings. Again, no matter how you plead, you're going to be released today if you have no other holds, okay?
Get out today without having to pay, right? Like pay
Yep.
right now. Okay.
Yep, you don't have to pay it, you'll have time to pay it. How do you wish to plead to this municipal ordinance violation?
So if I say guilty, I'm getting this ticket is what I'm getting for this.
Yep.
Okay, I'll just do that then.
All right, I'll find you guilty based upon your plea. I'll assess court costs of $114.50. You'll have time to pay that, and it takes care of this case. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Then I'm out of here.
Next is OSVILIO Gonzalez.
Court will call 26 CF 28, State of Wisconsin versus OSVILIO Gonzalez. Appearances.
Callie Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Gonzalez appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. He qualifies for public representation. The correct address is on the complaint. We will waive the reading of this complaint. He has got a copy.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It alleges one felony charge, state's position on bail.
State is requesting a signature bond with the condition that the defendant have no contact with Kerry, Kerry, last initial S.
Any objection, counsel?
No.
I will then order a signature bond. I will order no contact with Kerry S. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing.
Yeah, we'll waive those.
No calling, writing, texting. You can have no contact with Kerry S. during the pendency of this action. Time limits are waived. A status conference shall be scheduled. We are adjourned. Good luck to you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull them up fast enough to tell you.
It's just next is DAWHAN Johnson appearing via Zoom. For a forfeiture.
Court will call 26 FO 29 Dane County versus Tawana Johnson. Appearances.
Callie Zettel for the county.
Ms. Johnson appears in person or via Zoom in custody. Ms. Johnson, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office decided not to charge you criminally. Instead, they've charged you with an ordinance violation of county theft. It's similar to a parking ticket or a speeding ticket. It is a municipal violation. It is non-criminal. If this is the only case holding you, you're going to get released today, regardless of what you plead. Sometimes it's a case that can get resolved today. What is the county's offer for resolution?
County would resolve for court costs.
If you are to plead guilty or no contest, I'll assess court costs of $114.50. You'll have some time to pay that. If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this case can get set for further proceedings. Ms. Johnson, how do you wish to plead to this ordinance violation?
Guilty.
I'll find you guilty based upon your guilty plea. I'll assess court costs only of $114.50. You'll have time to pay that, and it takes care of this case. Good luck to you, ma'am.
You home today?
Yes, you'll be released today.
Thank you.
Next is Brandon Brown. Brandon Brown. Different? 7 yellow eyes.
Court will call 26 CF 32, State of Wisconsin versus Brandon Brown. Appearances.
Callie Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Mr. Brown appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. His correct address is on the complaint. He does not seek public representation. He has a copy of the criminal complaint and will waive its reading.
Sir, this is a criminal charge. As such, you have a right to counsel. You don't have to go with the public defender's office, but be aware that you can apply for a public defender appointment at any point in the future if they wish to appoint one. You can always appeal that decision if they turn you down. You're getting a copy of that information sheet. You can also hire an attorney at your own expense. I've reviewed the criminal complaint and alleges one felony charge, state's position on bail.
State is requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant direct no acts or threats of violence towards KB.
Any objection?
No.
I will then order a signature bond for Mr. Brown. I'll order that you direct no acts or threats of violence towards KB. I will also order that you do no physical discipline of KB during the pendency of this action. Time limits, counsel.
Wait.
Those are waived. A status conference shall be scheduled. Good luck to you, sir.
Sorry, sir, register. Next is Rufus Reynolds.
What's that? What's that?
I don't think it's working out.
Mr. Reynolds. Stand up and go.
Good afternoon.
Court will call 26 CM 37, State of Wisconsin versus Rufus Reynolds. Appearances.
Callie Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Mr. Ruf Reynolds appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. He qualifies for public representation and he, has a copy of the criminal complaint. We will waive its reading. Currently, the current address that we have, if the court will let him go back, is 22 North Blount Street, number 216. I have an alternative if the court wants it later.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea to the misdemeanor charges on Mr. Reynolds' behalf. State's position on bail.
State's requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Michelle WH, and Michelle is spelled MICHELL. I'd also request a ban from the 0 to 100 block of Blount Street in Madison.
Is that
And
North Blount?
let's see.
Yes, ma'am.
It is. And I'm also requesting that the defendant not be ordered not to use or possess any controlled substance or drug paraphernalia without prescription.
Any objection, Counselor?
No, we would ask the court to amend his mailing address to 1819 Aberg Avenue. We have no objection to the conditions or the signature bond.
I will then order a signature bond. No contact with Michelle WH. You can't call, write, text, message, no contact whatsoever. You not use any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. And you are banned from the 0 to 100 block of North Blount Street during the pendency of this action.
At all. None at all. She's saying not at all. It doesn't expire. If we're in lawyer, counsel, motion. No contact. No, Michelle, not at all. Understood?
Thank you.
We are adjourned. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, second. All right, sir. Next is OLAYA HERNANDEZ.
Olio, OLA.
You abuse.
Gonzalez.
Court will call 25 CM 2185 and 26 CF 34, State of Wisconsin versus Juan Olayo Hernandez. Appearances.
Callie
Oh,
Zettel.
wait, I missed one. Court will also call 25 CF 2369. All cases are for initial appearances. Appearances.
Callie Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Mr. Olio Hernandez appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. His correct address, I'll just say, is 2403 East Hill Drive in Fitchburg. He has copies of the criminal complaint and will waive their reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaints. As to the misdemeanor charges, I do make probable cause findings. I will enter not guilty pleas on Mr. Olayo Hernandez's behalf to those charges. State's position on bail.
If I could just have one moment, Your Honor. All right. In 26 CF 34, the state is requesting $1,000 cash bail. Conditions that the defendant be banned from all Walmart stores and that he have no contact with the co-defendant in that case. In 25 CF 2369, the state is requesting an additional $1,000 cash bail with conditions again that the defendant not be or that he be banned from all Walmart stores. And that he not have contact with the co-defendant in that case. In the 25 CM 2185, the state is requesting $500 cash bail and a ban from all Kohl's stores. I recognize that the substantive offenses in all of these cases are retail thefts, and usually that doesn't draw quite as high of a bail recommendation from the state. However, the defendant has a number of open cases and continually violates the same conditions. He's already been ordered not to be at Walmart. He's already been ordered not to have contact with the co-defendant in 2 of these cases. He's refusing to follow those conditions. He's also had a number of bench warrants out for him in the latter half of 2025. It's clear that he does not intend to come to court if he is out of custody and doesn't have significant cash posted. He's also clearly not interested in following the conditions of bond. And I should amend that argument. I see only 1 bench warrant that was in October of 2025. The last one before that was in 21. I was mistaken.
Counsel.
I think that's right, that there's a October miss that I saw. I'm asking the court to consider lower cash bail. I first will ask the court to consider a signature bond, of course, but I think low cash is appropriate. He can post about $100 to $200 per case, so I'll ask the court to consider in the neighborhood of $100 to $300. I think that's about right. Here, he does have a Jefferson County case as well. I think that's where the October miss was, or I did see an October miss in Jefferson. The co-defendant, there is contact alleged here. That is, the co-defendant is his wife, so it's not just anybody that he's alleged to have contact with. I will ask the court to consider not a no violent contact, but permit some kind of contact. I mean, they are, sorry, that's distracting. They are married, so I will ask the court to permit them to have some kind of contact, whether it's by phone or otherwise. Obviously, they should not be perhaps engaged in a probable cause situation or anything like that. But I will ask for contact between the co-defendants in some manner and low cash in the neighborhood of $100 to $300.
It looks like there was a missed initial appearance in 25 CM 2185. And that was scheduled October 16th. It was rescheduled for to issue a summons or attempted service. He then failed to appear on a November 17th at that initial appearance. And I can tell you the co-defendant in the other case already has no contact with Mr. OLAYA Hernandez, so it's a court order already. In regards to 25 CM 2185, I will set cash bail in the amount of $300. I will order that you are banned from all Kohl's. I will order that you are not to use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. In 25 CF 2369, I will order cash bail in the amount of $500. You are banned from all Walmarts and you are to have no contact with Josie Dorn. In 26 CF 34, I will set cash bail in the amount of $500. You are banned from all Walmarts, and again, you are to have no contact with Josie Dorn. In regards to that no contact, you can't call, write, text message, no contact whatsoever. She has the same condition. You guys have contact, that's new criminal charges. So I have no contact whatsoever during the pendency of these actions. As to the felony matters on the time limits,
We'll waive
counsel, those are waived. A status conference shall be scheduled. We are adjourned in Mr. OLAYA Hernandez's cases. Good luck to you, sir. 1300.
Thank you, sir. Right. Next is Corey Morgan.
Court will call 26 CM 46, State of Wisconsin versus Corey Morgan. Appearances.
Kelly Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Mr. Morgan appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. Right now, the address on the complaint is accurate. He qualifies for public representation. He has a copy of the criminal complaint, and I'll waive its reading, but I'm gonna ask the court to look at count 2, an allegation of domestic battery against DLC 2. Within the complaint, the report or the author notes allegations against DLC 1 and DLC 2. And the officer reports that Officer Kelly arrives and observes, among other things, dreads from the defendant on the ground, and then speaks with DLC 1, who makes a report, and which the officer evidently believes takes some credit to. But then also notes that on the bottom of page 3, that DLC 2 reports that the defendant did batter her, or batter them, I guess, I don't know the gender. Well, they say they were pregnant, so I guess I do imply that, but anyway, they were hit in the nose and upper lip area, and then Officer Kelly reports that they did not note any obvious injuries to their face, but Officer Kelly did observe the defendant's dreads all over the place, which supports his statement that his dreads were pulled out by the individual. I'll ask the court to take a look at the probable cause on count 2.
Competing inferences are irrelevant. Self-defense may be an issue for trial, but if you look at page 3, DLC 2 said that the defendant hit her in the face with a closed fist, hit her in the upper nose and lip area, based on the 4 corners of the criminal complaint and the non-consent portion that is in there. Your motion to dismiss is denied. I have reviewed the criminal complaint as to the remaining charges. Therefore, I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Morgan's behalf after making a probable cause finding. State's position on bail.
State is requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant have no contact with either DLC 1 or DLC 2, and that he be banned from the 900 block of Acewood Boulevard in Madison.
What block was 900?
Yes.
Any objection, counsel?
No, we're gonna give you a new address here in a moment. The correct address for Mr. Morgan will be 2204 South Park Street, South Bird Street, Sun Prairie, 53590. Thank you. And that was you have no contact with them, you do not go to them. Wow.
I will then give Mr. Morgan a signature bond. I will order no contact with DLC 1 and DLC 2. I will order a ban from the 900 block of Acewood Boulevard. We are adjourned in Mr. Morgan's case. Good luck to you, sir.
Appearing next is Shirley's Lifeline via Zoom for a forfeiture.
Court will call 26 FO 20. Nope. There we go. All right. Court will call 26 FO 27 Dane County versus CHARYSSE Langlois. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the county.
Ms. Langlois appears in person in custody. Ms. Langlois, I've got some good news, or what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those complaints, decided not to charge you with a criminal violation. Instead, they've charged you with an ordinance violation for disorderly conduct. It's similar to a parking ticket or a speeding citation. It is a non-criminal offense. If this is the only thing holding you, you will be released today regardless of your plea on this case. Sometimes it's a case. Hold on. Sometimes it's a case that can get resolved today. What is the county's offer for resolution?
The county would resolve for court costs.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest, I would assess court costs of $114.50. You'd get some time to pay that. If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this case will get set for further proceedings. How do you wish to plead today, Ms. Langlois?
Guilty.
I'll find you guilty. I'll assess court costs of $114.50. You'll have some time to pay. It takes care of this case. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next is Josie Dorns. Big one, you stand on the elements.
Court will call 26 CF 33, State of Wisconsin versus Josie Dorn. Appearances.
Kelly Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Ms. Dorn appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. Her correct address is 118 Village View Court, which I think is different than the address I gave for Mr. Hernandez or Olayo Hernandez. She qualifies for public representation, has copies of criminal complaints. We'll waive the reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It alleges all felony charges. State's position on bail.
State is requesting $1,000 cash bail with conditions that the defendant be banned from all Walmart stores and that she have no contact with the co-defendant. I'll note that she has multiple pending felony cases, is on bail in those cases, and continues to commit new crimes. She, in her last case, posted $500 cash bail, and here is accused of violating all of the terms of bail, new crimes, being at Walmart and being with the co-defendant.
Attorney Chung.
So, Your Honor, I'm going to ask the court to, I know the court's going to look at cash bail here, so I'm going to ask the court to consider lower cash than $1,000. She posted $500 cash. I think the court's going to look at higher bail than that. I'll ask the court to consider $500, $600, $700, something in that neighborhood. She can't post $1,000 cash. She does have a home that she can go to. Obviously, there's no contact now between her and her husband. That's a burden. She's in a situation here, so we'll ask the court to consider lower cash than what the state's asking for here, $500, $600, something in that neighborhood.
Given the number of cases that Ms. Dorn has pending, I do believe cash bail is necessary to assure appearances at future court dates. I will set it the amount of $750. I will order that you are banned from all Walmarts during the pendency of this action, and that you can have no contact with Juan, OLAYA, Hernandez during the pendency of this action. Time limits as the preliminary hearing counsel.
Let's not waive them yet.
That is not waived, in a preliminary hearing shall be timely scheduled. We are adjourned.
Next is Carly Schenkel. Right this one, right this one. Ms. Schenkel, Ms. Bidworth, and the yellow lights.
I don't do any of those.
Not what?
No, I didn't do any of that stuff. I could
Okay.
edit myself.
Okay.
I called 911. I got stopped.
Hold on,
But no, I'm sensitive. And I just need to do whatever I need to do. Yeah.
hold on. We can't do anything until we start the hearing. 26 CM 39, State of Wisconsin versus Carly Schenkel. Appearances.
Kelly Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Job center.
I know what it is.
Just asking. That's the truth, and that ain't the truth. What I say here.
Your best mailing address, ma'am.
1819 Aberg Avenue is where Ms. Carly Schenkel is giving me. She is not seeking public representation. She has she had a copy of the criminal complaint. I will waive its reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I'll enter a not guilty plea on Ms. Schenkel's behalf. I will note for the record, she's been given a copy of the public defender form where she wishes to apply to get representation in this matter. Ms. Schenkel, you can hire your own attorney, or if they turn you down, you can appeal that decision to get a reduced rate attorney. It is a criminal matter. You have that right to be represented by counsel. State's position on bail.
State is requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant have no contact with DF and that she be banned from 1302 Huxley. Let's see if that's the street. Avenue? Huxley Avenue.
Any objection?
We object. We object to the condition banning Ms. Schenkel from the 1300 block of Huxley. She identifies that as of her home, and she is unable to remain from that. Does the other individual live there? So she's asking the court to not ban her from that location. She can. Yes.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I will give Ms. Schenkel a signature bond. I will order no contact with DCF. I will also order that you are banned from the 1302 Huxley Avenue. It appears that both parties reside there. Given the violence that's involved, I do believe that a ban and no contact are appropriate in this case. We are adjourned in Ms. Schenkel's case.
Okay, that's fine. Next is Lewis.
Pardon me. Lewis?
Not decided to right now. And he said it was
Oh, Willis.
I do not know that one is that. Is that a criminal complaint?
There's two of them, yes.
I mean,
Wait, there's Jamira and Jemiah. Hold on. Which one are we doing? Jamira. Just one.
Vera Willis. Treasury Chum, did you say?
Oh, no, I have this one. Sorry, I do know this one. Sorry.
It's down the yellow lights.
Court will call 26 CM 43, State of Wisconsin versus Jamira Willis. Appearances.
Kelly Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Jamira Willis appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. Her correct address is on the complaint. She has a copy of it and she will waive its reading. I am going to ask the court to take a look at this complaint for probable cause for both defendants. In this case, what I read, with the court's permission, in this case, what I read is that police responded to a dispute where these individuals believed that a vehicle perhaps struck them or there was an incident. Then later, they discovered that that vehicle had key marks on them. There is no allegation here that anyone saw these individuals damage this vehicle, not on video, not by a witness, not by anyone. Simply that there was a dispute between that vehicle and these African-American young women. Later, there was damage to that vehicle, and then these individuals are blamed. I'm going to ask the court to find that there's insufficient facts here alleged to make probable cause.
Counsel, do you need a second?
Yes, please. So the complaint is certainly circumstantial. Attorney Chung is correct that nobody actually sees this crime happen. However, given the surrounding context that the officers, or one officer at least, investigated this potential accident with involving this vehicle, the officer then parked, it appears, some distance away, and did not see the group of girls that they had interacted with walk past the squad car away from the parking garage where this happened. So there's an inference that they remained in the location of the parking garage or went the opposite direction. And then there's the statement by the person working at the parking ramp who indicates he saw that same group of girls. They had taken a picture of the license plate of the involved vehicle, and that he heard them sort of looking for the vehicle, making a statement about his car is up here on the level of the parking garage where the vehicle at issue was. It's circumstantial, but there's enough there for probable cause.
So just briefly, this is I think the court knows, this is a completely open and public garage that everybody in town has access to. There are infinite ways in and out of this garage. So I don't think that the placement of the officer or the observations of these individuals in that huge and open parking garage is sufficient.
I disagree. I believe that there is probable cause. I think that there's the statements made by the patrol security who hears them actually looking for his car, saying his car's up here. They've taken pictures of his vehicle. His vehicle just struck one of them. There's motive, there's opportunity, again, based upon the four corners and the circumstantial details of this. I do believe that there is sufficient probable cause and deny the motion to dismiss. I have reviewed the complaint. I do make that probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea against Ms. Willis, state's position on bail.
State is requesting a signature bond with the condition that the defendant have no contact. I'm going to butcher this name, so I'll spell it instead. LINGXIANG. That's the first name. Last initial J.
Any objection?
That's the owner of the vehicle?
Yes.
I mean,
I will then
no
order
objection.
a signature bond and no contact with Long Zhang J. We are adjourned in Ms. Willis's case. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Next is Fawn Wasika.
I'm sorry, this one I do need time on.
I'm sorry, that was that.
Yes.
Okay, that's the same bail recommendations, and so I just want to make sure.
I do need to read this.
Who was our next one gonna be?
Fawn Wasika.
Zika. Thank you.
Wasika is next.
Yes.
Okay.
Follows. You stand in the middle of this.
Call will call 26 CM 41, State of Wisconsin versus Fawn Wosika, appearances.
Kelly Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Ms. Wozika appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. Best address for mailing for Ms. Wozika is going to be the Job Center at 1819 Aberg 53704. She has a copy of the criminal complaint. She's eligible for public representation. We will waive the reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding, enter not guilty pleas on the charges that apply to Ms. Wozika. Appearances. I'm sorry, state's position on bail.
The state is, excuse me, one moment. State is recommending $250 cash bail with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Andrea S. That's the common spelling of Andrea. That she not use or possess any controlled substance or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription, and that she be banned from the Red Roof Inn in Madison. As basis for the 250, the defendant is already, given the nature of the charges, on bail, and the signature bond was not sufficient to ensure compliance with conditions.
Counsel.
I'm going to ask the court to consider a lower bail. I mean, obviously there are open cases here, so I know that. Okay, just. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to ask the court to consider lower cash bail. Ms. Wozika is advising that she's got some personal issues that she's dealing with, that are complicating her ability to appear in court. She has no objection to having no contact with Ms. Smith. She evidently is also helping to take care of an individual. She's telling me that there's no problems appearing in the Columbia County case, so we'll ask the court to consider lower cash in this case.
Given the number of cases pending, I do believe some cash bail is necessary to assure Ms. Wosika's appearance at court. I will set it in the amount of $250. I will order that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia during the pendency of this action. You are to have no contact with Andrea S. You are banned from the Red Roof Inn in Madison, and you are not to go armed with any dangerous weapons as that is described by statute. We are adjourned in Ms. Wosika's case.
Next is Brandy Johnson.
Brandy?
Brandy Johnson?
Maybe,
Johnson.
okay.
Brandy Johnson. Read the paper again, you stand with the elephants.
Court will call 26 CF 29, State of Wisconsin versus Brandy Johnson, appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson appears in person. She has a copy of the criminal complaint and will wait its reading. Her correct address is listed on the complaint. She's not eligible for public representation here.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. It alleges a single felony charge of OWI 4th, state's position on bail.
State is requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, and that she not consume any or possess any alcohol.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna take a moment.
We'll take a break.
Like quiets down. Yes.
All right, let's try that again. We're back on the record with Ms. Johnson's case.
Thank you. We have no objection.
I will then give her a signature bond. I will order during the pendency of this action, you not possess or consume any alcohol. Is that the only condition you requested, counsel?
No operating without a license and no alcohol. Yes.
No operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license or after the consumption of any alcohol.
Maybe you're not occupational right away.
Just hold on, just.
Couldn't tell you that. You'll have to take a look. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing.
Waived.
Those are waived. A status conference shall be scheduled.
I'm sorry, what was your last question?
Status conference shall be scheduled.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Okay, that's right. Next is Jessica Gerard. Please stand with the elements.
Court will call 26 CF 36 State of Wisconsin versus Jessica Gerard. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
I don't appear to have.
Or Joshua?
I just have a space sheet. I don't actually have a.
I can print out a copy of the plan.
Would you please?
It was one of the last ones of the court.
Yeah. I have a face sheet there. 1 million Jessica. What's your parking? Okay. I did do this one. Yes. Thank you. Believe, she already said her appearance.
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
Ms. Gerard appears in person. Thank you for your time, Your Honor. I read the complaint. She has a copy and I'll waive its reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint, state's position in regards to, there are 2 misdemeanor charges against Ms. Gerard, counts 1 and 2. I make that probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on her behalf. State's position on bail.
State is requesting $750 cash bail with conditions that the defendant not consume or possess any controlled substance or drug paraphernalia without prescription, and that she not consume or possess any alcohol. I'll note this is the 4th felony case pending for Ms. Gerard. She did post $500 in her last case, and there was a specific condition in that case not to use or possess controlled substances, which is what we have here.
Attorney Chung.
I apologize. Could you please repeat the state's recommendation?
Oh, I'm sorry.
$750, no controlled substances, drug paraphernalia, or alcohol.
Hold on. Okay, no objection.
I will then set cash bail. In reviewing that, I'm actually gonna set it at $500. I am gonna order that you not use or possess any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. You are not to possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this action. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing.
Let's waive them.
Those are waived. A status conference shall be scheduled. Good luck to you.
Good year this way. Right this way. Walton team, you're up. Next is Samal Davis, appearing via Zoom for bail bonds.
Court will call 21 CF 797, 24 CF 857, 25 CF 1668, and 26 CF 27. 26 CF 27 is for initial appearance. The other charges are for a bail appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Attorney Kathleen Chung is in court for Mr. Davis with regard to, my office thinks he's eligible for public representation and shows the Beacon as his current address at 615 East Washington Avenue. I show an individual on the screen. I'll ask the court to make sure you can see and hear us and has a copy of the criminal complaint. I do, and I'll waive its reading.
Are you Mr. Davis, sir? Give me a thumbs up if you are. He gave me a thumbs up, which tells me he is Mr. Davis and he can hear me. In regards to the newest case, I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding as to count 1. I'll enter a not guilty plea on his behalf. State's position on bail on these cases.
In the newest case, the state is requesting $1,000 cash bail with conditions that the defendant not use or possess any controlled substance or drug paraphernalia without prescription. In each of the bail hearing cases, I will ask for an additional $1,000 cash bail and for the conditions previously ordered to remain. The defendant had multiple bench warrants out at the time that he was arrested in this new case. There were several bench warrants related to pretrial services violation, specifically 3 of them. And then another was issued after he failed to appear for court on October 6th. He has a number of open cases, obviously, and he was on extended supervision when one of the older cases, the 24 CF, was charged. He did post $2,000 cash bond at one point in the 24 CF case. That was back in March of 2024, though. And since then, it appears that he's been given cash and then have it amended to a signature bond and then picks up a new case and we're back to the same position. So I think given all of that, that it's been a while since he was able to post high cash, but given that signature bonds are clearly not sufficient to ensure appearance or deter new criminal behavior, I'll ask for $1,000 in each.
Counsel.
So the cases are old. I know the court's gonna look at cash bail. I'll ask the court to keep it moderate. He's obviously unable to post, so I'll ask the court to keep it moderate, somewhere in the neighborhood of $500.
In review of these cases, there are multiple missed court appearances by Mr. Davis. We get new charges that are now occurring. And there were warrants out in all of these existing cases plus prior missed court appearances. Given the multiple missed court appearances, it is clear that Mr. Davis will not appear for court of his own volition and cash bail is necessary to attempt to ensure his appearance. In 01 CF 797, I will set cash bail in the amount of $1,000 and reinstate all non-monetary conditions. In 24 CF 857, I will set cash bail in the amount of $1,000 and reinstate all non-monetary conditions. In 25 CF 1668, I will set cash bail in the amount of $1,000 and reinstate all non-monetary conditions. On the newest case, 26 CF 27, I will set cash bail in the amount of $1,000 in order that you not possess or consume any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription. As to the newest case, time limits, Attorney Chung.
Let's not waive those.
Those are not waived. A preliminary hearing shall be scheduled timely. We are adjourned.
Next is Connor Braverman. Connor Braverman. Paperwork and go ahead. All right.
Court will call 25 CM 2890, State of Wisconsin versus Connor Braverman. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Mr. Braverman appears in person with Attorney Kathleen Chung. His correct address is not on the complaints. It's 405 Woody Lane, WODDY, in Monona. I'm sorry, I don't know what I said. WODDY is what I should have said. Lane, Monona, 53719. He is eligible for public representation in this matter. I think he has a copy of the criminal complaint.
Just that.
And I'll waive its reading. Thank you.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Braverman's behalf. State's position on bail.
If I could just have one moment.
I would note that there is $200 posted. It was fraudulently posted per all paid. It's going to be returned to all paid. So Mr. Braverman himself has 0 cash bail posted.
Oh. All right, I'm going to ask for $250 cash bail. In that case, this is a retail theft, but the fraudulent posting of cash bail is certainly cause for concern here. I'll also ask as a condition that the defendant be ordered or be banned from any Woodman stores.
Counsel.
I'm gonna ask the court. Obviously, he didn't post it if it's fraudulently cast. He must have been or fraudulently posted, he must have been inside. If I remember this complaint, this is one that indicated a hardship situation, so I'll ask the court to consider low cash, neighborhood of $100 here.
I will set cash bail in the amount of $100, given the information that's been provided. I will order a ban from Woodman's. Make sure you make all court appearances, sir.
Okay, thanks.
We are adjourned in Mr. Braverman's case.
Next is Marcus Brown, hearing via Zoom.
Court will call 26 CM 33, State of Wisconsin versus Marcus Brown. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Attorney Kathleen Chung is in court for Mr. Brown. The information I have is that he's eligible for public representation. I have an address not on the complaint for mail. That is 1480 South 92nd Street, West Allis, Wisconsin, 53211. I have a copy of the criminal complaint and waive its reading, and I'll just ask the court to make sure that the individual can see and hear us and has a copy of the criminal complaint.
Mr. Brown, if you can hear us and you are Mr. Brown, give me a thumbs up, sir.
Yes, court.
Appreciate that. You received a copy of the criminal complaint, sir?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
All right, I have reviewed that complaint. I do make a probable cause finding as to counts 1, 2, and 3. I will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. State's position on bail.
State is requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Candace P. and that he be banned from the 1100 block of Windsor Avenue in the village of Cottage Grove.
Any objection?
No.
I will then give Mr. Brown a signature bond. I will order as conditions that you have no contact with Candace P. You can't call, write, text, message, no contact whatsoever. And you are banned from the 1100 block of Windsor Avenue in the village of Cottage Grove. We are adjourned in Mr. Brown's case. Good luck to you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Next is Andre Scott. Mr. Scott. Stand on the yellow house.
Court will call 26 CM 48, 26 CM 38, and 25 FO 2559. As to the FO, the court will just enter a not guilty plea and that will go pending with these charges. State's position on the criminal actions or state's appearances.
Callie Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Scott appears in person. For now, the address and the complaints are accurate. I show that he qualifies for public representation and that he has copies of the criminal complaint.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter not guilty pleas to all of the misdemeanor charges. State's position on bail.
If I could just have one moment, Your Honor. Okay. In both cases, I'm requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Rebecca H. and that he be banned from the 1900 block of Tyrol, Tyrol, Terrace in Mount Horeb. I'll also ask that if he is able to post that he be ordered to report to pretrial services for GPS monitoring. That may only make sense in connection with the newer case, 26 CM 38, but for consistency, I think it could be connected to both. I'll leave that to the court's discretion.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have no objection and we can provide an alternate address in a different city if the court can grant this joint recommendation for bail. That address is 111 East South Street, Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, 53916.
Then in regards to both cases, I will set a signature bond. I will order no contact with Rebecca H. No call, write, message, no contact whatsoever. I will also order that you are banned from the 1900 block of Tyrol Terrace in Mount Horeb. I will also order referral to pretrial services for GPS monitoring for that. It's probably going to be closed when you're released today. If you're released today, make sure you report by whatever time it indicates on there. I believe it's 9 a.m. tomorrow morning to make sure that you comply with those services. Any questions asked counsel first?
My possessions, but I have nothing.
Please.
The police department.
We are adjourned. Good luck to you, sir.
I might just wait. Next is Ladarius Young, appearing via Zoom.
Court will call 26 CM 44, State of Wisconsin versus Ladarius Young. Appearances.
Callie Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
One moment, please. Okay, thank you very much. Attorney Kathleen Chung in court for Ladarius Young. I don't know whether they qualify. I think maybe this came in a little bit late for us, or whether they have a copy of the criminal complaint, but I did read it and I'll waive the reading, but I'll ask the court to just inquire about Mr. Young's Ladarius Young's ability to participate and whether they have a copy of the criminal complaint.
Mr. Young, have you received a copy of the criminal complaint? I hear him say yes, which means he can hear me and has received a copy of the criminal complaint. I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter not guilty pleas on Mr. Young's behalf. State's position on bail.
State's requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant be banned from the men's shelter, which is located at, I believe, 2002 Zaire Road in Madison. Let me double check that address. Just closed it out. Yes, 2002.
Any objection?
No, just very briefly, Mr. Young, that means you can only go to the Beacon, not Zaire Road. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. May I make one request? I did leave some possessions there, including like my backpack, $60.
You can contact the police department to go with you to obtain your belongings, but only with the police, okay? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. No objection.
I will then give Mr. Young a signature bond. I will order your band from the men's shelter at 2002 Zaire Road. And we are adjourned in Mr. Young's case.
One moment, we just have the deputy give them, I didn't get the eligibility, so we could just get
Mr.
that.
Young, you need to make sure you get apply at the public defender's office for this case. This is a criminal action. You have a right to counsel. Given your status of homelessness, I'm guessing you will qualify for public defender appointment. You can always appeal that decision if they turn you down or hire your own attorney at your own expense. I will note the bailiff did give him a sheet for the public defender's office.
Thank you.
We are adjourned in Mr. Young's case.
Next is Solomon Furlow for forfeiture. Mr. Furlow. Please stand and yell.
Court will call 26 FO 26. Dane County versus Solomon Furlow appearances.
Kelly Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Furlow appears in person and in custody. Mr. Furlow, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office read those police reports, decided not to charge you with criminal charges. Instead, they've charged you with an ordinance violation for possession of drug paraphernalia. If this is the only case holding you, you're going to get released today, no matter what your plea is in this case. Sometimes it's a case that can get resolved today. What is the county's offer for resolution of this matter?
County would resolve for court costs.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest, I would find you guilty. I would assess court costs only of $114.50. You'd have some time to pay that. If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this ordinance violation can be set for further proceedings. How do you wish to plead to this municipal ordinance violation of county possession of drug paraphernalia? I'll find you guilty based upon your plea. I'll assess court costs only of $114.50. You'll have time to pay that. Takes care of this case. Good luck to you, sir.
Sorry, next is Connor Stillwell for a bill on her. Connor Stillwell.
Hey, Mr. Stillwell.
Court call 24 CF 3074, State of Wisconsin versus Connor Stillwell. Appearances.
Kelly Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
So hold on a second. Mr. Stillwell appears with attorney Kathleen Chung. His correct address is 201 East Klubertanz Drive, KLUBERTANZ Drive in Sun Prairie, 53590. We're here for a bail hearing.
State's position.
All right, the state is requesting $500 cash bail. In this case, it does appear that this was the first missed appearance in this case. I don't see any other open cases or really any cases that have been that the defendant has been charged with over the last couple of years. However, excuse me, there was one case in 2022, and it does appear that the defendant appeared regularly for that case. However, this warrant was active for over 6 months, and the defendant seems to have done nothing to address it. So I think, excuse me, just about 6 months. And so I think some amount of cash is appropriate.
Counselor.
I'm gonna ask the court to consider a signature bond here. I'm not maybe there's something more that I'm not aware of, but I do think a signature bond should be taken a look at. I agree that there's what I remember is a miss. I didn't remember it being very long, so 6 months sounds about right. It's not an Act 3 eligible case. What I remember is that this was an alleged theft. Of course, he's not guilty, but there wasn't a violence incident. It was alleged, I think, at some type of home or assisted living situation. I think there may also be another. No, I think this is just the only case. So I'm gonna ask the court to look at a signature bond. And then I think there was also an appointment delay in terms of counsel. So I'll ask the court to consider something low in the neighborhood of first a signature bond and then $100.
Does look like he did appear for a status conference back in May, and they were waiting for appointment. So it was set over to the next status conference in June when Mr. Stillwell failed to appear. Given the lack of history, given the one failure to appear, I do believe and his prior appearances at all the 2022 cases, I do believe Mr. Stillwell deserves one opportunity to appear on his own. I will reinstate the signature bond and all non-monetary conditions. Mr. Stillwell, if you miss court again, you will not get a signature bond. If you're looking at cash bail, you need to make sure you make your future court appearances. We reinstate all non-monetary conditions. We are adjourned in Mr. Stillwell's case. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Next is Samuel Smith, appearing via Zoom.
I know, I'm sorry.
Court will call 26 CF 31, State of Wisconsin versus Samuel Smith. Appearances.
Callie Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Attorney Kathleen Chung is in court for Sam Smith, who appears by Zoom. I'll ask the court to make sure you can see and hear us and everything, but I am gonna ask the court, and I have a copy of the criminal complaint, and I hope he does too. I am looking at count 2. And I think that, I'm sorry, I think of the felony bail jumping count. If I'm not mistaken, the bail jumping was issued in September, but the allegation is in August. So I don't think he can be guilty of bail jumping.
I'm sorry, Kathy, can you repeat that?
I think that the case 25 CF 2160 was issued. in
I believe
September.
counsel's correct. The bail jumping charge that's alleged is 25 CF 2160. That had an initial appearance on September 22nd. The charges as alleged in this case are August 27th, which predate the substantive bail jumping charge initial appearance time frame. Counsel, any response?
No.
That count is dismissed. Leaves counts 1 and 2 we're here for today. Sir, have you received a copy of the criminal complaint? I think I heard you say yes. If you have, can you give me a thumbs up? I see a thumbs up from Mr. Smith. As to count 2, it's a misdemeanor charge. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Smith's behalf and state's position on bail.
State is requesting $1,000 cash bail with conditions that the defendant not use or possess any financial instruments not in his own name. Mr. Smith has had a number of cases over the last calendar year. He currently does have an open case, 25 CF 2160. He was ordered to pay $1,500 cash bond in that case. At the time he was arrested for this conduct, he had multiple warrants out. He was not outright physically resistive with officers when he was being questioned, but he was uncooperative and eventually devolved into screaming profanities at them. It does not seem that Mr. Smith is capable or willing to keep himself out of trouble without significant financial incentive. And so I'm asking the court to set $1,000.
Counsel.
So I'm gonna ask the court to consider lower cash, right? This is not an Act 3 eligible case. I don't know for 100% sure, I'm not saying that the council is misrepresenting anything at all, but I'm not 100% sure about the basis under which the multiple warrants situation, since maybe there was a mix-up. So I'm not sure whether that's accurate, because it's not represented within the four corners, so I don't know that there were necessarily for sure other warrants issued, although it says that, but they're not noted here, and I didn't find them. That's not to say it's not true, but I didn't see them. And I don't know whether he's eligible, but I'm guessing he may be, so I think that finances are gonna be very limited. It's not Act 3 eligible. The allegation is not that he ran, as the state said, but rather that he yelled some profanities. So I'm gonna ask the court to first look at a signature bond, and then, of course, the.
Hold. Oh, now it's back. Okay. keep
Sorry.
going.
And then, low cash. Thank you.
And Commissioner, I think you had noted that the defendant's video had cut out. I don't know if they had missed anything, or anything needed to be reiterated for them.
In summary, Attorney Chang argued that low cash or a signature bond is appropriate. I would note that the warrant that was issued was December 3rd of 25 and 25 CF 395, which one does actually, that initial appearance also predates, which would have been a basis for the felony bail jumping, but that's not what was alleged in the count 3 that was ultimately dismissed. He does have prior failures to appear. He now has at least 3 pending cases. The new cases have a felony status in regards to count 1. I do believe some cash bail is necessary to assure Mr. Smith's appearance at future court dates. I will set it in the amount of $700. And I will order that you not possess any financial transaction card or any financial cards that are not identified in your name. Time limits as to the preliminary hearing, counsel.
So I'll ask not to waive the time limits and just make sure that he gets because he wasn't evaluated, I guess. So I'll just ask that he gets a public defender notification sheet as well.
Mr. Smith, this is a criminal matter. As such, you have a right to counsel. You can apply at the public defender's office. If they turn you down, you can hire an attorney at your own expense, or you can appeal that decision. You'll be given a copy of your rights to that attorney and the process. We are adjourned. Good luck to you, Mr. Smith.
Next is Timothy Harrelson. Timothy Harrelson. Good work. You stay on the guidance.
Oh, man. So. All right. All cases are for an initial appearance. We've got 22 CM 1070, 24 CF 1903, 24 CM 2473, 25 CF 150, and 25 CF 336. State of Wisconsin versus Timothy Harrelson. Appearances.
Callie Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Harrelson is in court with attorney Kathleen Chung. The correct address for all these cases is 4121 Dwight Drive, number 3, Madison 53704. He is eligible for public representation. I believe I reviewed these complaints and I think that I will waive their reading. He's got copies.
I have reviewed the criminal complaints. I do make probable cause findings as to misdemeanor charges and enter not guilty pleas on his behalf. State's position on bail.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could I just have a moment to go through all the cases? All right, I'll start with 25 CF 336. In that case, the state is requesting $10,000 cash bail with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Richard B.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt. Could you please say the DA's case number as well? I don't have the case numbers of the
Sure.
complaints.
It's 25 DA 660. Do you want that for all of them?
Would you mind?
Yeah, of
Thank
course. So $10,000 and no contact with Richard B. In support of that recommendation, I'll note the defendant has 4 other cases currently in warrant status. He failed to appear for initial appearances multiple times in 22 CM 1070. The defendant was extradited from here to Illinois in 2022. His Wisconsin history includes 2022 and 2023 cases in Dane and Waukesha counties. The defendant was convicted here of operating a motor vehicle without consent, taken drive, and felony theft over $10,000. His last known address, at least known to my office, is in Illinois, where he has an extremely long criminal history. It is unknown what ties he has here to Dane County. In Illinois, the defendant was recently convicted of taken drive, their version of that offense, twice in 2 separate cases, 2022 and 2023, as well as a felony theft in 2023 and sell, receive, or possess a stolen vehicle in 2022. He also has criminal history in Maryland and New Jersey from 2017. In this case, the 25 CF, the defendant was seen on camera jiggling multiple door handles and entering at least one residence. That house was 6 houses down from the residence of the victim, and it was approximately 10 minutes before the victim's van was stolen. 5 months later, the defendant was located driving the stolen van in Indiana, close to midnight. He led law enforcement on a high-speed chase for almost 20 miles. He then refused to exit the vehicle when it was stopped for nearly 5.5 hours, despite commands and the use of chemical irritants in the vehicle. The SWAT team had to be called to force him from the vehicle. He is accused of fighting with law enforcement at that time while he was being placed in cuffs. And then controlled substances and drug paraphernalia were found in the vehicle. The defendant then refused to identify himself, and law enforcement had to use facial recognition software from Indiana to identify him. This all took 12 hours from the time that he was seen. Given all of that and his history, cash bond is certainly appropriate and necessary. In 25 CF 150, which is DA case 24 DA 12455, I will ask for an additional $1,000 cash bail and a ban from all farm and fleet stores. In 24 CM 2473, I'm asking for an additional $500, a ban from the 500 block of Kelvington Drive in Sun Prairie, KEL. Sorry, what was that?
Is that in the 7033 for the DA number? Or
I'm sorry, that's, so 24 CM 2473 is 24 DA 7504. I'm sorry. So a ban from the 500 block of Kelvington Drive in Sun Prairie, KELVINGTON.
what is that?
500. In 24 CF 1903, which is 24 DA 7033. Yes. I will ask for $5,000 cash bail. In that case, the defendant posed as a delivery driver and is accused of entering the victim's home, taking their car keys, and stealing their car. He is captured on Ring video in that case. And then in 25 CM 1070, which is DA 21 DA 9869, I will ask for an additional $500 cash bail with conditions that the defendant be banned from farm and fleet stores.
I think that one is Fleet Farm.
I believe it is. So Farm and Fleet and Fleet Farm stores.
On the California case, the 24 CF Bank, that's pretty clear, it's a condition jury, but
Yes, I do. Thank you. As conditions in 1903 DA 7033, I will ask for a ban from the 5,000 block of Regent Street. No contact with Aaron, spelled with 2 A's, last initial K, or any of his family members. A ban from Liberty Station. And no contact with Courtney P. Thank you for that, for catching that.
Season Paul,
Yes,
that was 5,000.
yes.
Council. One moment.
Okay, so Mr. Holliston obviously cannot post much cash here, so he's just gonna ask the court generally to ask for lower cash in each of these cases. I'm not gonna set an amount as the DA did, but more or less, I'll ask for about half or less than what the DA is asking for. Obviously, he came here, first of all, he's innocent of all these charges, right? So we'll just start there. And as far as this, let's start with the biggest case in Indiana. Most of these reports come from Indiana, so we don't know what happened there for sure. But we do know that he's alleged to have taken cars here. He does have a local address now that he's provided here. So that's his ties. He tells us that he's been in or has ties to Dane County for over 6 years. That he actually was employed by Woodman's. So he does as recently as 6 months ago. So he does have some employment ties and he's got other community ties here. He believes that he can post up to $1,000. So there's some amount of cash that he can post. And he's gonna ask the court to consider lower cash therefore in all these cases. Obviously, the court is not gonna put cash in the amount of $1,000, but I'll ask the court to consider cash in the neighborhood of about $5,000 totaling across these cases. Now, there are some of these cases that have more proof than others. Obviously, the court's gonna look at the strength of these cases. Some of these cases don't have as much proof as others. The case with ATA, for example, I think there's an allegation that there was an entry, but there's not an allegation of a felony that was in the intent. So there's some cases that do have problems here. I'm gonna ask the court to consider lower cash in the neighborhood of $5,000 across these cases. We have no objection to any of the prohibitions in terms of no contact.
I always show it to court.
Talk to your counsel, sir.
And he always shows up to court.
There's a number of warrants that have been issued out through the years in regards to these cases. They go back to 2022. We're looking at 5 cases, starting with the most serious, 25 CF 336. And I say that as most serious in regards to how the vehicle was then apprehended as alleged in Indiana regarding a high-speed chase in a standoff for multiple hours. Given that, that gives this court extreme pause that Mr. Haroldson, you will not appear at future court appearances without cash bail. In that case, I'm going to set cash bail in the amount of $7,500. And I'll order no contact with Richard B. In 25 CF 150, it's a retail theft, which there's a string of retail thefts that are alleged, but they're high amount retail thefts and are alleged to have targeted Fleet Farm and Farm and Fleet. In this case, I think lower cash bail is appropriate given the severity of that offense. I will set cash bail in the amount of $500 and a ban from Farm and Fleet. In 24 CM 2473, counsel, you talked about no allegations of alleging to have committed a felony. It's charged as a misdemeanor. It's a criminal trespass to dwelling charge. It's not charged as a burglary. Again, it's a lesser misdemeanor charge only. Given that, I will set cash bail in the amount of $200. And I will order no contact with, I've got ATA. Is there a name associated with?
Sorry, I have to go back to that. I can only look at one at a time.
That's
24/7.
CM 2473.
All right.
I will also order a ban of the 500 block of Kelvington Drive in Sun Prairie.
I'll ask for no contact with Austin A. I think is consistent across.
Austin A. in 24 CF 1903. Multiple felony charges, in regards to the conduct and the deceptiveness that's alleged, I do believe, and the severity of these offenses. Cash bail is necessary. I will set cash bail in the amount of $3,000. I will order a ban from the 5,000 block of Regent Street. No contact with Aaron K, Courtney P, and a ban from Liberty Station Bar and Grill. In 22 CM 1070, retail thefts, I will order a ban from Fleet Farm and cash bail in the amount of $300. As to the felony status cases, council time limits.
No, we will not waive them.
Time limits are not waived and preliminary hearings shall be scheduled timely. We are adjourned in Mr. Haroldson's cases. Like,
Next is quick notice.
13 or so.
Right, thank you, ma'am.
good luck, sir.
Pardon me.
Quick notice.
Okay, oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hold this fast.
Quick notice.
40 minutes.
Stand on the yellow.
Court will call 26 CM 36, State of Wisconsin versus Crick Notich. Appearances.
Kelly Settle for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Mr. Notich appears in person. His correct spelling is on the complaint. The correct address is going to be Bethel Lutheran there on the complaint as well. He qualifies for public representation. I believe he has a copy of the criminal complaint and we will waive its reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Notich's behalf to these charges. State's position on bail.
State is requesting $300 cash bail with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Angela P. I'll note that the defendant is on misdemeanor bail with a no contact order in place with that same person, and there's additional violent, abusive behavior alleged here.
What was the last part?
Uh,
Something last year?
Oh, there's additional violent and abusive behavior alleged here. It's the same victim as the last no contact order.
Counsel.
I'm gonna ask the court to consider lower cash bail. I could be wrong, I'm not 100% sure about this, but is it alleged that AKP had a drug paraphernalia stolen from them? I mean, I could be wrong about that, but that's kind of odd, right? And then here, they're alleging that Mr. Notich had drug paraphernalia. I don't understand. So the conduct, right, there's a no contact order, so that's maybe what the bail jumping is alleged, so that's not right, or that's a bad allegation. But the other allegation is kind of funny, maybe there's some kind of joint conduct going on, but I'll ask the court to consider low cash here.
Looks like a vape. I don't see drug paraphernalia.
Isn't that what that is?
No,
Oh,
vapes are very
can
different
be
than drug
either.
paraphernalia.
what?
Vapes are very different than drug paraphernalia.
Oh.
Nicotine for
Oh,
vapes. I mean, depending on what you're smoking, but no, it's not drug paraphernalia. That's why it's called a vape. But in looking at this conduct, it's misdemeanor charges. There's the domestic abuse. So we've got issues in regards to Act 3 eligibleness. However, the severity of such and lack of missed court appearances that are set forth today, I do believe that Mr. Notich deserves an opportunity to appear on his own recognizance. I will give you a signature bond. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Angela P. Can't call, write, text. You must stay away from her during the pendency of this action, and you need to make sure that you make all court appearances in the future, sir. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Next up is Marcus Sherd. He is coming directly. He's coming directly here.
Oh.
He's not in there.
Sure. Are we gonna get them?
We're not muted at the moment.
Please.
CM 49, court will now call 26 CM 49, State of Wisconsin versus Martinez Sherd, appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Thank you. Are you okay? Are you okay, huh? Or if you don't think about it, Thank you. Mr. Sherd appears in person with Attorney Kathleen Chung. His correct address is on the complaint. He is eligible for public representation. I believe he has a copy of the criminal complaint and we will waive its reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Sherd's behalf to these charges. State's position on bail.
I'm sorry, one moment, Your Honor. The state is requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Kristen K. It's KRISTIN. And that he be banned from the 4600 block of Crescent Road in Fitchburg, and that he not consume or possess any alcohol.
What was the address?
4600 block of Crescent Road in Fitchburg.
Counselor.
No, we have no objection.
I will then give you a signature bond, sir. You must have no contact with Kristen K. You can't call, write, text, no contact whatsoever during the pendency of this action. You are banned from the 4600 block of Crescent Road, and you are not to possess or consume any alcohol during the pendency of this action. So we are adjourned. Good luck to you, Mr. Sherd.
Next is Everett Troy.
Okay.
Hey, this way, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look at it later. I can't pull two up at the same time.
Court will call 26 CT 11, State of Wisconsin versus Everett Troya, appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Mr. Troya appears in person with Attorney Kathleen Chung. His correct address is listed on the complaint. I think he's here for an OAR and he's been here for 4 days. He's eligible for public representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on Mr. Troya's behalf. State's position on bail.
State is recommending a signature bond with conditions that the defendant not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license or functioning ignition interlock device.
Any objection?
No.
I will then give you a signature bond, sir. You are not to operate a motor vehicle without a valid license or without a functioning IID. We are adjourned. Good luck to you.
I have one question.
Wait,
Talk to her.
Okay, so how could it be if the cells that expired in their system?
It is a criminal matter. You can apply at the public defender's office.
Next is Joshua Gerard for a forfeiture.
Court will call 26 FO 30, Dane County versus Joshua Gerard, appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the county.
Mr. Gerard appears in person and without counsel. Mr. Gerard, I have what some consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those police reports and decided not to charge you criminal. Instead, they're charging you with an ordinance violation for disorderly conduct. It's similar to a parking ticket or a citation. Sometimes it's a case that can get resolved today, regardless of your plea on this case. This case isn't going to hold you today, but I do believe you have a PO hold that's going to hold you in. What is the county's offer for resolution of this matter?
County would resolve for court costs.
If you plead guilty or no contest to this ordinance violation, I would find you guilty, assess court costs of $114.50. Give you some time to get some time to pay it and take care of that, and it'd be taking care of this case. If you plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this ordinance violation can get set for further proceedings. How do you wish to plead to this charge?
Not guilty.
I'll enter a not guilty plea and the case will get set for further proceedings. Good luck to you, sir.
Next is Ishmael Riley. Right?
Court will call 26 CM 47, State of Wisconsin versus Ishmael Riley. Attorney Chung? Oh, I apologize. Riley? Yes. Appearances.
Copy of the criminal complaint. I'm sorry. I don't have.
Oh, you
that.
don't have one?
No, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Is this signature on?
Thank you. Oh. They did put one on here.
He has one, or she has one.
Let me just read it very briefly, please.
Mr. Riley, do you have an address for us or not necessarily? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Riley appears in person with Attorney Kathleen Chung. He's eligible for public representation. He has a copy of the criminal complaint. He can use an address of 58 Whitwer Road. Is that on what side? Do you know the zip code? We think the address or the zip code is 53714. He has a copy of the criminal complaint and we will waive its reading. If I didn't say he is eligible for public representation.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint. I do make a probable cause finding. I will enter a not guilty plea on his behalf to this charge. State's position on bail.
State is requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant be banned from all Summit Credit Union locations, that he have no contact with Kelly M.
Thank you, no objection.
I will then order a signature bond, sir. I will order that you not be at any Summit credit unions and you have no contact with Kelly M during the pendency of this action. Good luck to you, sir.
All right. Next is Danielle Foltman.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Court will call 26 CM 34, State of Wisconsin versus Danielle Foltman. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Ms. Faltman appears in person with Attorney Kathleen Chung. Right now, her correct address appears on the complaint. She has a copy. I don't know if I said, but she qualifies for public representation. I'm gonna ask the court to take a look at this complaint briefly. What I show is that officer spoke with a KLV who says, and now again, there's some circumstantial evidence, but they never spoke with an alleged owner of property here. So I'm going to ask the court to consider dismissing this complaint. They said that the complaint says that police spoke with, can you please? Stop. that they spoke with KLV, but KLV is not the owner of this property, so I'm gonna ask the court to take a look at this complaint.
Bottom of the complaint, it says KRS did not consent to her property being destroyed.
But the officer didn't, there's nowhere in the complaint that says that they spoke with, rather they say that KLV says that, so it doesn't say that there was any contact with KRS.
On the bottom of the complaint, it says KRS did not consent to her property being destroyed.
It says that, but they don't say how they know that at all.
Your motion to dismiss is denied. It's substantially stated in the complaint. I reviewed the criminal complaint. As I've just stated, I do find probable cause within the four corners. Therefore, I do enter a not guilty plea on Ms. Fultman's behalf. State's position on bail.
The state is requesting a signature bond with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Carly S. And that's all.
Any objection?
No.
I will then give Ms. Fultman a signature bond. I'll order during the pendency of this action. You have no contact with Carly S. Calling, writing, texting, no contact whatsoever.
And Carly is with a K.
We are adjourned in Ms. Fultman's case. Good luck to you, ma'am.
It's KARLIE. She had a case here earlier, yeah.
Next is Brittany Montoya.
Forfeiture. Court will call 26 FO 28 Dane County versus Brittany Montoya. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the county.
Ms. Montoya appears in person in custody. Ms. Montoya, I have what some people consider good news. The police department referred up criminal charges against you. The DA's office reviewed those reports and decided not to charge you criminally. Instead, they charged you with an ordinance violation of disorderly conduct. It's a municipal citation similar to a parking ticket or a traffic citation. Sometimes it's a case that can be resolved here today, depending on what the county's offer is. If this is the only case holding you in custody, you're going to get released today no matter what you plead. What is the county's offer for resolution of this matter?
County would resolve for court costs.
If you were to plead guilty or no contest to this ordinance violation, I would find you guilty. I would assess court costs of $114.50. You'd have time to pay that. If you want to plead not guilty, that's absolutely your right, and this ordinance violation would get set for further proceedings. How do you wish to plead to this case?
No contest.
I'll find you guilty based on your no contest plea. I will assess court costs only of $114.50, and that takes care of this case. You'll have some time to pay it. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Okay, this one right this way. Next is Andrea Smith.
What's that? Hang on.
There's one. $7.
Court will call 26 CM 40, State of Wisconsin versus Andrea Smith. Appearances.
Kelly Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Ms. Smith appears in person with attorney Kathleen Chung. Her correct address is not on the complaint. It is 204 East Olin Avenue. Number 201 Madison 53713. She qualifies for public representation and she has a copy of the criminal complaint and I'll waive its reading.
I have reviewed the criminal complaint as to counts 1, 2, and 3, which apply to Ms. Smith. I will make a probable cause finding and enter a not guilty plea on her behalf. State's position on bail.
State is requesting $500 cash bond with conditions that the defendant have no contact with Fawn W, FAWN, is the first name, and that she not use or possess any controlled substance or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription, and that she be banned from the Red Roof Inn in Madison. The reason for the cash request, the defendant failed to appear in another case, and that was 25 CM 2822 on December 19th of last year. The warrant was not served until the 30th of December. She was released from custody after serving that warrant on January 2nd of this year, and we have this new case occurring on the 4th. So I think at this point, some amount of cash is appropriate. 500 is not an unreasonable amount.
I could be wrong, but I'm hearing from, well, I'll ask the court to first look at a signature bond. I am told, and I think it may be that Ms. Smith turned herself in on that Ms. Warren. If that's true, then I'll ask the court to definitely take a look at a signature bond. The address on Olin Avenue that she's giving us, I think if I'm not mistaken, is she is working with her case manager, and I think that address on Olin Avenue, if I'm not mistaken, is some type of center like that. I think the court where we may recognize that address as that. So there is some kind of mental health issue, there is some kind of not supervision, some kind of case management going on. That case management notified her of the missed court date, therefore she did turn herself in. Obviously, the conduct here is that is alleged, is simply alleged, but it's not great. It looks like there are there's one misdemeanor case. And the second count, of course, is just a misdemeanor, despite the repeater. So I'll ask the court to consider first a signature bond and then low cash. Let her work with your case manager. The other individual, the co-defendant, sounded like is still gonna be in custody for some time. So I don't think there's much of a concern about contact or additional disputes, but we do have an opportunity here to let Ms. Smith work with her case manager, I think. Where did Ms. Smith turn herself into? Vondron. I also note that she may have had Jason Gonzalez as an attorney before too, so she's got some contact here. And the execution looks like turning yourself in. Doesn't look like she turned herself into any police departments. She was arrested, and that's not turning yourself in. However, I would note on that underlying case, they did reinstate to a signature bond, even after that missed court appearance. I think that the idea was that she called police and they came and got her. Yeah. And that's why the signature bond was reinstated. But you're right, I don't know that for a fact. It was reinstated. She did not turn herself in. She was arrested, but given the reinstatement and given the process, I do believe that another signature bond and the severity of these offenses is appropriate. So I will give you a signature bond, ma'am. I will order that you have no contact with Fawn Wazika. I will order that you not possess or consume any controlled substances or drug paraphernalia without a valid prescription, and you are banned from the Red Roof Inn. You need to make sure you make your future court appearances. You got it, ma'am? And Ms. Wazika's got the same condition. She can't have any contact with you, so make sure you follow through. No calling, writing, texting, no contact whatsoever. All right, we are adjourned in Ms. Smith's case. Good luck to you. Work with your case manager, okay?
Next is Jimmy Willis.
Was that a signature?
That's you guys.
Okay, all right, thank you. I was trying to read like 4 different things.
For pro forma, I am gonna make the same motion. Okay.
Court will call 26 CM 42, State of Wisconsin versus Jamea Willis, appearances.
Callie Zettel for the state of Wisconsin.
Ms. Willis, Ms. Jamea Willis is present with attorney Kathleen Chung. She has a copy of the criminal complaint and she is not eligible for public representation. Her correct address is on the complaint. Despite the earlier ruling, and just for the record, I will move the court to review this complaint for probable cause and move to dismiss.
And I have reviewed this criminal complaint, and based upon my review, I do believe it meets the 4 corners for probable cause for today's purposes to find that there is probable cause to believe that Ms. Willis committed a felony. That Ms. Willis committed this charge. In reviewing the criminal complaint, for the record, there's motive, there's means, and there's opportunity as applicable to Ms. Willis. There is the statements by the parking monitor who sees them searching for this car that has just struck the other Ms. Willis. And in regards to all of that, I do believe that there is that probable cause existing for today's purposes. Therefore, I deny Attorney Chung's motion to dismiss the charge. Attorney Zettel, position on bail.
State's requesting a signature bond with the condition that the defendant have no contact with the same individual, name spelled LINGXIANG, last initial J.
Any objection?
No.
I will then order a signature bond for Ms. Willis. I will order that you have no contact with Ling Zhong J. We are adjourned. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And that's